Hi guys, good afternoon. Where is it? Where is it? I've just been working on it. Oh my god, it's gone. Just let me find it. Oh, there you go. There it is. Let's have a look. Hello, hello, hello. What a beautiful day today is. Cheers. Somebody's just said it's a full moon. Okay, makes sense. Beautiful day is today to talk about a fascinating crystal that I've loved working with over the years. It's one of those kind of crystals that you really feel calm and at peace with. And sometimes, like when I first started, I was thinking, oh, it's Cavensite, and it's not. It's called K2. There you go. It's a beautiful crystal. It really is a beautiful crystal. Just take another look. K2 is that kind of crystal that it just kind of melts in your hand. It's such a smooth feeling, but it's also a really, really peaceful crystal. It really brings out the goodness in you, the angel in you, the best. It brings out the best in you. I like wearing it, especially when I've had a bad day. I don't mean just being angry, but just a bad day, things not just being as you want them to be, and silly things, silly reactions, issues, problems. It's a good crystal for that. It really brings you back to a nice earthly grounding level. K2, when you're working with K2 as a healer, I think it's a great crystal to either have in your pocket. Because it's more, for me, when I'm working with it, it's not really the crystal that I'd hold in my hand and do my energy work, but more taking it out and placing it on the client and then placing your hand above the crystal. So if you're not a healer and you'd like to wear this crystal, then a really good thing to do is, while it's hanging on you, whether it's low, whether you choose to wear it low or high, doesn't make any difference with K2. You follow your feeling with K2. Wherever you put it, just at times place your hand where it is and sit comfortable. That's all you need to do. Let the hand do the work. The other hand, if you're holding it out like this or placing it down on your knee, but with your palm facing up, it's a good way of receiving. And that energy that receives through this hand goes here and right the way down here and then into here. So it's a really, really a beautiful crystal to amplify your energy. So the energy that comes through your hand goes to your other hand and blasts through into the K2, and then the K2 is activated and starts to do its work. So what does K2 do? I think over the years it's been a fascinating crystal for men, but a lot of people claim that it brings the feminine out. A lot of people have said to me, you know, a big butch guy who's come to me who's maybe mafia or whatever, really not very nice. Whenever I'd gifted a piece of this to them, it calmed them down. It made them feel a lot better. It made them a better person, which that's all I cared for, so they wouldn't cause any problems to anybody else. My aim in life as a healer was never to judge, but to simply try and make somebody a better and stronger person and a happier person. So let's take, for instance, one of my clients used to have a very, very bad reaction when he drank alcohol and was abusive to not just his wife, but to his children. His wife absolutely adored him. And when he didn't drink, he was the kindest, most lovingest guy. But alcohol has an energy which is really bad. It really is bad. It's almost, to me, evil for some people. And some people cope with it, other people don't. But I don't like alcohol. I've seen a lot of bad things done. But take that away. This guy was obviously a lovely guy, but had an issue with alcohol. And not often he drank. But when he did, he couldn't remember what he did, and I talk about this in many of my videos prior, what alcohol does and how we can easily be manipulated by negative energies out there, which are spirit trapped in between two worlds. I call them spirit in denial, and they can influence us to do things. That's not to say that he shouldn't take responsibility, and it was his fault. and he should never have laid a finger or abused in an angry way to his wife and children. So for me, going back to doing the healing, all what was utmost important to me is that he wouldn't do it again. So I always remember taking out a K2, and it wasn't like this. It was a different shape, different size. It was more of a manly crystal. This is more of a feminine crystal, right? Because it's a cabochon and it's this shape. So men won't kind of wear that. But the crystals I used to work with predominantly at the beginning was rare, raw, natural, and yeah, quite rare crystals and unusual formations and different, shapes, not just like a crystal pendant. And I still try and do that now to this day, like this. These are the kind of crystals I used to work with. This is my kind of crystal, right? But a lot of people like them in cabochon, and I totally understand because they're exquisite. But this is my kind. Look at that for a tourmalated quartz, beautiful. Anyway, going back to the K2, I had this nice chunk in my hand, and I was working by basically placing the crystal here and there, going around the body, feeling, putting it at certain places, might have been at the side of the head, next to the temple, then, on the throat, blah, blah, blah. And when I'd finished, predominantly within 2 or 3 months, he would come back and maybe had a knee-jerk reaction and done something she shouldn't have done. But over the years that I knew this family and especially this guy, it was like 7-8 years, and now I know for a fact there's no more alcohol at all, doesn't need it. And what we were trying to break down, and this is where we're coming to with K2, we were trying to find the root cause of why he was going through this. And we realised that it was very similar to my situation at home. I didn't know my dad was an alcoholic, and it wasn't until I got older and my sister mentioned it, and he was so clever. He had a room where we weren't allowed to go in. It was the best room. It was called the front room. Back in them days, you weren't allowed to go in certain rooms because your dad said you're not going in that room. It's only for special guests who come, and that room is always clean and perfect. And that's when the china teapot and everything comes out. The best little tiny cups with the espresso and stuff, because my mum Italian, my dad Polish, and he had a drinks cabinet in there, but he was allowed to go in there, of course, because that's like most people. The people who make the rules never actually obey them rules. They always break them. The rules are meant for like you and me, and that's a bully tactic. So basically, going back and remembering, my dad used to go out and out of the room, and we'd sit and watch telly. And if the news was on, we weren't allowed to speak at all. He told us to shut up. So we'd sit there, and that's when he came home after work. And then he'd go out, and then through the night, predominantly from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, he'd start getting angry and more angry. And then we start to realise when he's really going to kick off, because what he did then, he used to pace up and down the corridor of our big house. It was a big house we lived in, a Victorian house, and he'd pace up and down, and then he'd find something to get angry at, and then he'd start abusing us. And my sister pointed out that, the drinks, I never put 2 and 2 together at all, never thought about it, because you live in fear. He was an alcoholic, and he covered it very well. So going back to this guy, we found his root cause and why he blasted and needed to drink. And I'm not going to talk about it because it's very personal, and it was a very profound moment. But I guess where I'm going with this crystal is, this crystal brings out things that you didn't know, suppressed moments of your life when you're a child. Sometimes we don't even remember them. This crystal has a great unique energy of bringing out what we forgot, or that we choose not to remember and look at. This crystal is kind of like a truth crystal. It's a little bit like Wonder Woman when she throws a rope around you, the truth rope. It's a little bit like that, it really is. But it's more that you bring out, you become strong enough to be able to see your truth and face it. So K2 is a great energy for self-realization. I think a lot of healers and crystal workers like to use that word, and self-realization is a lovely word. But K2 is a little bit deeper than just self-realization, because it actually targets certain parts of the body where normally predominantly it's either the head, the stomach, or of course the heart, to where we need to blast away that what we covered up. So imagine if you've had a memory, which is an energy. That memory is, well, if we look at it on a level of a psychologist, they talk about a line being your life, the lifeline. Okay, so when you're born to when you're the age that you are, along that journey, what happens is you have moments like where I saw my dad beating my brother, and it was really bad. He broke down the bathroom door, and that was one point of my life where psychologists call it the burn point, where it's burnt into your psyche. And we look at those moments. I had a lot of them because I had an abusive father, and I went through a lot of trauma at school from being bullied. So I've got a lot of these things. So we've got to try and look at them first of all, but a lot of the times what we do is we try and cover them so we don't look at them. And what we don't realize is that when you cover these balls of energy that we call blocks, what happens is we get sometimes an energy memory past moment that causes us to react. And sometimes we don't even know why we reacted, but your body energy has reacted for whatever reason, whatever trigger. It could have been a smell, it could have been a memory thought, it could have been an action that you saw, something that just triggered without you even knowing, to then knee-jerk or cause a great reaction in a negative way. So going back to K2, and it's a very deep crystal, and this is why I'm giving you examples, because you can't just talk about K2 like a lot of people do. You've got to go deep, and you've got to understand the relevance of K2 and how special it is. K2 has this kind of energy, which I noticed when working with men, women as well, and children, that it was targeting certain points of past memory that was burnt into our psyche, but we covered up. Therefore, this crystal is not only a healing crystal and a calming crystal, but it also allows you to heal the past, to go to the root cause of those moments we call the burn points, that burn moment where it's burned into your psyche. And it definitely helps. It's a gradual crystal. It isn't a crystal that, oh my God, I'm getting one from Mark's website and it's going to change my life. No, it doesn't work like that. That's why I said, there's reasons why I say certain things, that wherever you feel you want to put this, you put this hand there next to the crystal and let the work be done as you're receiving. So we're all healers. Anybody can do this. Don't think you can't. If you think you can't, it won't work. It's when you believe and just trust. Let it happen. And like I said, there are 3 points. So you might want to put it at the side of your head when you're lying down, or on your forehead, on your third eye, and put your hand there while you're lying down. And you can do it that way between 10 and 20 minutes if possible, every day. If you can, it's great. If not, then once a week, doesn't matter. And then if you're wearing it, wherever you feel you choose to wear it, lower down the stomach, that's your emotions. You get a lot of burn issues there. So again, you place your hand there and let the work be done. I have seen the cause and effect and the healing process of this crystal over the years, and I do believe it's one of the most powerful crystals for clearing past trauma, which are deeply rooted in the physical body. And to move on a little bit, because I could talk about this crystal for a long time, to move on from that side, you've got to also understand that once you hit a root cause issue in the body, you also heal yourself in a physical manner as well. because I believe, and I've seen it many occasions, that any suppressed, deep-rooted trauma can manifest into physical issues like cancer or very, very heavy and long-lasting illnesses. So I do believe that K2 is an amazing crystal to wear or to put in your pocket and just hold it, and then place it like that. Just place it or move it around 10-20 minutes a day to the back, around the kidneys, back of the spine, start lower down, and you normally get only about up to about here, but that's a great point to work on, okay? And then you can go to your shoulders and just go on your shoulders like that, keeping it there. This is brilliant, honestly. I'm not just kidding you. I can actually feel it. It's brilliant. And then throat as well. And just work with this crystal, and it works with you, and it really does make a massive impact on your life. I think if you're kind of at a stage in your life where you're fed up with controversy, you're fed up with obstacles, you're fed up with everything. If you're at that frustrating point in your life where you just simply realize that everything's wrong and you just want to give up on everything and you just want a peaceful life, if you're saying that, then K2 is a great crystal to wear, because it basically works. It's the foundation of your thought, and it works with that. So it backs you up every time you say that. I am going to go down, and you will then move in that direction. So it's a very nice flow, positive, and it brings you to the places where you're not finding yourself everything's going wrong all day. I hope this video serves you well. I hope you like my understanding of K2. It is probably very different from a lot of other people who are crystal sellers. I don't read books. I've only studied them through self-experience and through the thousands of clients I've worked with. I like this crystal a lot. I really do. And I think if you haven't got a piece of K2, get yourself to your local store and say, hey guys, is there any chance you can get me a piece of K2? And work with it. And kind of don't listen to Mark too much when you first begin. Start to feel for it yourself. Listen to it and tell me what you feel from K2. I'm always interested in hear your observations, your feelings, your experiences with it. And where was the experience greater? Was it your stomach? Was it your heart? Was it your head? I'm always interested in that. Children predominantly with this crystal work in a higher level. They connect much quicker than an adult. And that's normally because they're far more open. So this crystal works really well with children who have been abused. I've had many children who have been abused. This crystal is a great crystal for them. Not that we want to talk about that, but children do get abused. Not just physically, but emotionally as well. If a child is nervous, if a child has, you know, that or anything like they struggle with their feelings and their worry, and this is a beautiful calming crystal for them to wear. And predominantly this is a crystal of two places, either the heart or the stomach. If it's a young girl, I would normally go for the heart. If it's a boy, I would go more, a little bit lower down into the stomach. Don't ask me why, but that's where I would normally relate it to. But you might say, actually, Mark, it worked much better higher up. So follow that, listen to you, listen to your child if you buy one for your child, and let them play with it. Let them play with it. You don't force a crystal on a child. Just give it to them and say, here's a little magic gift for you. It's a magic pebble, it's for you. And let them feel it. Let them play with it. Let them, just tell them it's a piece of magic. In fact, my next book that's coming out, you're going to love one of the stories. It's going to blow you away. When I was in Italy, it was a It's such a beautiful, profound story. It's going to blow you away. And that title of that story is The Boy Who Exchanged a Hammer for a Wand. And it's a beautiful story, a true story that blew me away completely. We'll change the name of the book, guys, and it's coming out soon. We're working on it right now. We worked on it yesterday. We've got everything nearly ready. So all the true stories that happened to me, they're just mind-blowing, they're heart-blowing. So the title of the book's changed slightly, which I'm really happy about. And we've just worked on where the story should go, because there's so many stories in this book. It's a lot bigger than Diary of an Accidental Psychic. And it's a follow-on from there. So it's really good. There was one point where I thought calling it the real life Ghostbuster, because there's a lot of stories of being with ghosts, but no, that's too ego. In fact, people would laugh at me and call me that. Oh, yeah, it's the Ghostbuster. Who does he think he is? But no, it's a nice title we've got for it, and I'm sure if you enjoyed Diary of an Accidental Psychic, all those true stories, then you're really going to enjoy this book, because some of these stories are going to blow you away. And yeah, I'm really happy. It's a great day today. I've been working on my crystals. We've been doing some changes here as well. And we're really happy. We really are happy. Everything's going great. I'm working on the Moldavite trios. They should be ready in a few days. I think they're nearly ready, but I'm still just working on them a little bit more. And when they are, I'll post them on my website. And of course, I think I've got maybe about 5 to 10 of these. I'm not sure. I know there's a handful left on my website, which I've obviously personally worked with them and put my own energy into them as well. So when you go onto my website, when I share with you the information of the crystal, I also work with that crystal to put its unique energy memory into it. So you get a double whammy. You get the crystal's energy, plus you get the energy of how I worked with each specific crystal, or a bunch of 5 or 10 crystals in the same way. And that's why my crystals are slightly different from what you would just buy from a store. So thank you so much again for supporting my website and going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic crystals worked upon by me. I loved working with them. I do every day. That's my work now. And yeah, and even if you go and buy, if you go to a local store and buy a little tiny piece of any crystal, I think you'll feel the amazing power of crystals, and that will help waken you up. So whatever crystal you're using, if you think, oh, I really want one of Mark's crystals because of that reason, don't get yourself too caught up in that. I'm only sharing what I felt with certain crystals. You can use any crystal to work with you in any way if you just put the intention there and work with them and listen to the crystal. The crystal always speaks to you if you listen. If you listen to it, it tells you where to put it. It tells you how it works and what it's healing at any given moment. And that's what makes you eventually a crystal expert and healer, because you then are your own teacher. You are your own guide. You are your own listener to the crystal, and the crystal will always share its information with you. That's what crystals are for. They are compact, beautiful memory chips that share energy with you and give you information, and also know exactly how to heal you at certain places in your body. So I hope you enjoyed K2 today. One last look. Have a look. There you go. A beautiful, eh? So beautiful. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you for always supporting Mark Bajerski YouTube channel and this new channel, Mark Bajerski Crystals. Have a great day, guys. From my heart to yours. Take care. Bye for now.